Alrighty, so I'm back with my cycling deck. I just made a few tweaks and changes, which I thought I would show off because I feel they've made the deck quite significantly better. And I also realized after brewing this deck, I was basically basing this deck off the old standard cycling decks, but it's since come to my attention that there is already a cycling deck in Pauper, which is the cycling Storm deck, which is more of a fast-paced, all-in combo deck that uses Reaping the Graves to return tons of creatures from your graveyard to your hand. So I haven't tested that deck out, but this deck is essentially the same shell, except our deck is a bit more of a beatdown deck. So our win cons are Writhing Necromass and Liliana's Elite. And we are just less of an all-in combo deck and more of a traditional beatdown deck with just a cycling sub-game going on here. So I'll quickly run through it. It's similar to how it was in the past, but for example, I'm now running Ash Barrens as my mana fixing because it's cycling, which triggers Granite Stinger. And I've also added some disruption and removal. So we're now running one copy of Suffocating Fumes, 3 mana, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn, and has a cycling cost of 2. Then I'm playing 2 Cast Down. Obviously, the new card Overwhelming Remorse has synergy in here. That's that new card from Brothers War, which is 5 mana, costs 1 less for each creature in your graveyard, and it says exile target creature or planeswalker. It would fit in this deck since we fill our graveyard with so many creatures, but I do at the moment prefer Cast Down because Cast Down is still good even if we have no cards in our graveyard or if our opponent exiles our graveyard. So I feel like Overwhelming Remorse is good when you're already doing well, and Cast Down is just good no matter how you're doing. And we also have 2 Lightning Bolts and 1 Duress. I feel this is a decent disruption package, but it's open to tweaks. We also have 1 Barren Moor and 1 Forgotten Cave now for yet more cycling. So most of the cards in the deck are just creatures with a cycling cost of 1. So we have Drannith Healer, 2 mana for a 2/2, cycling 1. It says whenever you cycle another card, you gain 1 life. So we have 1 Plains, which we can tutor for with the Ash Barrens. So we can hard cast the Drannith Healers. Then of course we have Drannith Stinger, 2 for a 2/2, cycling 1. Whenever you cycle another card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Okay, we have Viashino Sand Sprinter, which is a card I've actually grown to like. 3 for a 4/1, Trample Haste. At the beginning of the end step, return it to your hand, and it has a cycling cost of 1. So quite often in grindy games, you can hard cast this and smack for damage. Okay, Lurching Rotbeast, 4 for a 4/2, cycling cost of 1 black. Monstrous Carabid, 5 for a 4/4, attacks each turn if able, cycling cost of 1 split red-black. Street Wraith, 5 for a 3/4 Swamp Walk, cycling with the cost of just pay 2 life. And then Horror of the Broken Lands, of course, 5 for a 4/4, cycling 1 black. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, it gets +2/+1 until end of turn, so we can also hard cast and beat down with this. And then also, our main strategy is to ping our opponent a lot with the Drannith Stinger. And then our 2 massive payoffs for running so many creature cards with cycling is, first up, we have Liliana's Elite, 3 mana for a 1/1. It gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. I'm only running 3 copies because obviously it's only good when you have your graveyard full, so it's vulnerable to graveyard disruption. And then finally, we have the new Writhing Necromass, 7 mana for a 5/5 with Death Touch, and it costs 1 less for each creature card in your graveyard, so it's very easy to cast this for just 1 mana. It's sort of like Pauper's like weak version of Hogark in a way. And then the sideboard is still a work in progress. I've got a Relic of Progenitus for graveyard decks. Got this new card, Smash to Dust, which is pretty cool. 2 mana for a sorcery, choose 1, destroy target artifact, destroy target creature with Defender, or deal 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. More Duresses for control decks, and then 2 copies of Haunting Misery. which is pretty cool. 3 for a sorcery. It says exile X creature cards in your graveyard from the game. Haunting Misery deals X damage to target player. So yeah, that's the deck as it stands. I've had a lot of fun playing with it. I really enjoy the play style, and I feel it is very powerful. Is it better than the Cycling Storm decks? I don't know, but probably not. But it is sort of just a different variation on the same idea. So if you have ideas to improve it, please let me know. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.